everyone. Welcome in to the Father-Son Football Fanatics podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Michael. This is Caden. We are obviously in a different setting than normal. We are... Than ever, yeah. We are in Pigeon Forge, Gatlinburg area, Tennessee, on a little vacation. But we don't let that stop us from bringing you the best fantasy advice. So here we are.
The game's in about 30 minutes, and
the game is getting ready to start in about an hour.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to film a whole podcast or a whole thing, so don't be mad at me.
Oh, we'll be fine. We'll be fine. We'll get it in. But we are glad you're with us today. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. Do all that good stuff. But we will get right into our show. We've got some starts and farts, and we've got some plug and play that you may need even for tonight. So stay tuned for all of that.
Starts and farts
of the week.
Now, starts and farts is a segment we've been doing for about 3 to 4 weeks now, I would say, something like that. And since the season started, about 4 weeks.
This is probably the fifth one.
Fifth week. So not much to say about it. You guys know, if you're true OGs out there, we know who you are. We know you've been commenting day one, going all the way up to this video. We know you are an OG, and we know that you've been subscribed for a long time and stuff. So thanks to you. But now, for the first start for me, Robert Woods. Now, Robert Woods is he's pretty good, I would say. Do you agree?
I agree. And you might need to speak up a little bit, because we are out in nature and there's a bunch of crickets.
We don't have microphones.
If you can hear, there's a bunch of crickets and different things like that out here, so you might have to kind of talk over those. We are out in nature, so it's pretty cool.
Yes.
A little quick story. I'm going to tell a quick story before we get too deep into the segment. So last night, we're out having a fire in a fire pit, and the backyard kind of slopes down, and then there's a fire pit, and then right on the other side of the fire pit, there's like some big boulders and like almost like a little drop off cliff. It doesn't drop off far, but it does drop off. And we had this chaotic moment where Caden was kind of sitting on the slope a little bit, leaned too far one way, and his chair flipped over and he fell and was sliding down the hill. And his brother Cooper jumped up and he was going to go save him, but it was dark and he couldn't see where he was going, and he hit the little drop-off cliff, and he went tumbling down the hill. So then I jump up, and I've got one of our dogs on a leash.
That's our dogs.
And I go to help them up. Well, in the midst of the chaos and everybody screaming and kind of freaking out a little bit, the dog that I was holding on to, Winnie, slipped out of her collar and went darting down the hill towards the creek. Pitch black out here. We couldn't see anything.
I had the flashlight in my hand, the only flashlight.
And I dropped it,
and I didn't know where it was.
So that's a little funny story about what happened last night. But we'll get right into the starts and farts. So you said your first start is Robert Woods?
Because Treylon Burks is hurt. He's injured. He's out. Well, is he out?
He was doubtful.
He's doubtful to play in Sunday's game or Monday's game, whenever they play.
So if Treylon Burks truly is out, and even if he's in but limited, Robert Woods would be a good play, as long as their offense moves the ball.
What is your first fart?
My first start. And I don't really like it. It's one of those ones that it's kind of like, I don't want to go with this person, but I really think this person's going to do well. My first start is Allen Robinson. He had a couple rough games.
You out your mind, bruh?
Then he had a really good game.
What was that?
Then he had another bad game. So it's kind of, if you're riding the roller coaster of Allen Robinson, you're probably going to be at the peak this week. The Rams go against the Cowboys. So it's probably going to be a lot of passing.
Whose record is better? The Cowboys.
The Cowboys, unfortunately, but there's going to be a lot of passing because the Rams don't rely on their run very much.
Especially Cam Akers.
And I feel like Cooper Kupp's week is going to be down because the Cowboys will hone in on him, and I think Allen
They'll
Robinson will go up.
I don't think that. I think Cooper Kupp will find a way to get 40 points.
Cooper Kupp he's been really good. I'm eating my words during the offseason right now, but I still think he's going to go down. I still think he's not going to finish in the top 10.
I said he's not going to finish in the top 10.
Even though he's number one right now, I still stand by my prediction that he's outside the top 10.
I stand by my word that Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill are both in top 10. And
Well, that all depends on if Tua comes back too. But let's stay on point here. So,
no, but Teddy Bridgewater is a beast.
so
if you think
he's
about
not a beast. You heard it here. He's not a beast.
Last year when Jameis Winston got hurt on the Saints,
That
Teddy Bridgewater
No.
went 5-0 with the Saints.
you were thinking
The Saints.
No, he didn't. He wasn't on the Saints last year.
What team was he on?
The Broncos.
Oh,
Yeah, he was the starting quarterback for the Broncos, and then they put Drew Lock in because he didn't do well. That's
That
bad
was 2
English.
years
He did
ago.
not do well. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, 2 years ago when Drew Brees was out with 11 cracked ribs, yeah, he came in with an awesome, high-powered offense and did well.
I thought it was last year. I'm sorry.
But
I don't.
that was the team around him. That wasn't just
He
him.
had like Michael Thomas, prime Alvin Kamara, prime Michael Thomas, prime people.
Yeah. All right, who's your second start?
Melvin Gordon. And if you're watching this, hopefully we get this out before tomorrow, this game.
Before the game in about 45 minutes. The service here is bad, so it
Very
took
bad.
it took like all day yesterday to upload the video that was supposed to be Tuesdays.
Yeah,
So-
that was not our fault. We tried to upload it, but we just couldn't. It was
It's bad out here. Reception is bad.
But we're still doing it. If you get the video on Friday, and you don't have and you didn't have Melvin Gordon starting, and you did really good, be like, Caden, you were right in the comments. Like, you got to be like that in the comments, all right?
But
I'm predicting the future that
I-
Melvin Gordon will win.
you might be predicting the past when they see it, but that's okay. That's okay.
I'm predicting the future in today's episode for me.
Melvin Gordon, I think you're right. I think he's a really good play. Javonte Williams,
Even though I got negative 1.2
if you
last
didn't know, and we were going to talk about this a little bit in the next segment, but Javonte Williams is out with a torn ACL, probably done for the season. I don't see him coming back. If he does, he can't be at full
some
capacity.
breaking news: Brian Robinson he practiced.
He's a full participant in practice, so we'll see what that does to the
And he got
comrades.
shot 4 weeks ago. He got shot twice.
Yeah.
That is crazy. He's strong.
So Melvin Gordon's a good play. I agree with that one. My second start, Tyler Boyd. Here's why I think Tyler Boyd will be a good start. They are in a divisional game against the Ravens. Joe Burrow is going to want to absolutely tear the Ravens apart. The Ravens, however, are going to want to defend the Bengals. Well, who are they going to guard? They're going to guard Jamar Chase. They're going to try their best to shut him down. They're going to try their best to shut down T. Higgins. Tyler Boyd is a very talented, capable receiver. They cannot guard all three. Not efficiently. Especially if they're really trying to shut down T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. Tyler Boyd is gonna get open. And if he catches the ball, he's gonna have a good game. He is my second start. Now, we are only doing one fart this week each. Really for time's sake, and
We're on vacation.
We're on vacation, so
we gotta get a little slack, but we're still filming it for you guys.
We want you to have the content, but we're trying to salvage some time for our vacation. There's a hot tub over here that we need to go sit in.
We were gonna film it in the hot tub. We were thinking about it.
So, and we may have another incident at the fire pit. Who knows? But that's why we're only doing one fart this week. But I'm going to give mine first, and this might be a surprise. Okay, this might be a shock. You might think I'm crazy.
I think you're a little crazy.
I think Stefon Diggs is going to be a fart this week. I think he's been having some killer games, but I think he is going to have a down game this week. He's not a fart all the time. He's not a fart all the time, but this week I think he will. They're going against the Steelers, who has a pretty good pass defense. Mika Fitzpatrick he's a lockdown defender. He is good. And they're going to put their best on the Bills' best, which is Stefon Diggs. So I think that will limit. I know, but he's still going to be focused on Stefon Diggs.
They're going to cheat him over to the side Stefon Diggs is on. They're going to try to throw it to him.
Yeah. So
break his wrist.
That is going to be Stefon Diggs' down game, I think, which probably means Gabe Davis will have a good game.
You're just winning that because everything.
I hope, because I have him in a couple leagues.
All three.
All three of my leagues.
All three.
I like Gabe Davis. It's okay.
Only because he did good in the playoffs.
But I think Stefon Diggs has a low game this week. That's just my thought. So he's my fart this week.
One of my farts, or my only fart, is Garrett Wilson. I hate to do this to him. It's nothing against him. It's against his quarterback. Zach Wilson is coming back this week. And Joe Flacco was in the top 5 of passing yards last week. He was 5. And he was throwing most of those passes to Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson was doing good. But this week, I say you put Garrett Wilson on the bench. I did it. I put Robert Woods over to Garrett Wilson because Zach Wilson, we don't know if he's going to throw to him or not. So I say you just put him on the bench for 1 week. If he does good, my bad. If he does good, or if he does bad, my good. My goodness is upon you. Yes.
All right.
Now let's get on to the
So
next
Garrett
segment.
Wilson is your fart. Okay.
And I've had him in my start for a few weeks now.
Yeah?
All right. Let's go into a segment that we haven't done in about a week or so, or a week or two.
We did it. I think we did it last week.
I don't think we did.
I think.
2 weeks ago.
Maybe I think you're right.
3.
I think you're right. 2 weeks ago is when we went to the Bengals game.
That was not 2 weeks ago.
So that was last week. So it was last week.
Did we actually do that?
We did. We did. Yeah. So.
No, that was.
That's okay. It's okay.
I have bad memory.
Hey, they all run together. You know, when you're putting out so much content for the viewers, it kind of runs together. But
Plug and play.
plug and play.
He made it. Plug and play. Plug and play. Pretty fun segment. We have some injured guys, broken ankles, torn ACLs, torn MCLs, broken kneecaps,
We
concussions
we-
with seizures.
Wow. Too soon.
A lot of stuff is happening
We-
in the NFL recently.
We kind of tailored this segment today
Jonathan Taylor.
around some specific players that you may have and some guys that you can plug in their place to get as much value or as close of the value as possible to the guys you're missing. Some of those guys, Javonte Williams, we talked about with the torn ACL. Jonathan Taylor with his injured foot. Brandon Ayuk, or not Brandon Ayuk, Jamison Crowder, Amon-Ra St. Brown. Some of these guys that are going to they're going to be out, or most likely out. DeAndre Swift, all these big name players that you drafted, they're normally your starters. That's what we tailored this around, so that you can know what wide receiver and what running back you should be able to pick up and plug in.
Okay,
for
they
those
get the
guys.
jig, all right.
They get the jig, okay.
They get the jug, all
The
right.
gist.
They get the gist. I said jig.
That's okay. You're making up your own words. That's all
I
right.
do make up my own things. I say under the water when it's under the weather. Yes,
That is true as well.
I do. I make up my own
So,
statements, my own
Running back,
slang words, if you will.
running back, plug and play players. If you have those Jonathan Taylors, Javonte Williams players, who you can pick up for the running back position. Caden, who is your running back plug and play?
Naheem Hines. If this video gets posted by the time
The game starts.
which is in about 15
No, it's about
21.
30 minutes.
Something like that. 28, 26, 23. I think it's about 23.
Naheem Hines. So that's a pretty obvious, pretty good
What did you just say?
answer.
Pretty obvious?
Well, Jonathan Taylor's out. His backup would be an obvious
What
plug
about
and
Marlon
play.
Mack?
Marlon Mack, I wouldn't play him if he was the only running back left healthy.
Yeah, I'd just put a blank spot.
Yeah, you'd be better off. No, that Naheem Hines, that's a good pick there for running back. I'm putting in, and I may have had this guy last week. I don't remember, but I'm putting in Khalil Herbert. David Montgomery is still dealing with an injury. He's limited at practice. He's questionable, and he's another guy that
Don't you have
you would need to
Khalil
plug and
Herbert?
play for.
in the league?
I do. I picked him up. He is definitely one you should pick up and plug
If
in.
he's still on your waivers. He'd be a good waiver wire fire. We should do that
So
on Tuesday.
Khalil Herbert would be a good one to plug in if you have Jonathan Taylor, Javonte Williams,
I'm gonna clap
David
loud.
Montgomery.
Sound warning. My next plug and play.
Receiver, right?
Receiver.
Who's your receiver?
He goes by the name of Romeo Dobbs. Now, last Thursday, I did not know who that guy was. No, that might have even been Tuesday. That might have been like 2 days ago.
Yeah,
I didn't know who that guy
he
was.
was my waiver wire fire pick from our Tuesday show. So if you listen to
Wednesday,
me on
actually, it's yesterday's show.
we
Really.
filmed
We
it
filmed it on Tuesday.
Tuesday, it posted Wednesday. So if you listened to that one, you may have gotten a little head start and grabbed him in hopes of him doing well. But he is your plug and play receiver.
He is indeed.
He's been going.
That's
He's
it for
been
me.
doing well. He's got the trust of Aaron Rodgers. My plug and play wide receiver is, and this is kind of a dice roll, so this one's not as sure of a thing. Brandon Ayuk. You've got Jimmy Garoppolo in the position there now that Trey Lance is out.
Debo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel draws a lot of attention.
But he still
Brandon-
makes it work.
But Brandon Ayuk, historically, with Jimmy Garoppolo, has done really well. Last year, not so much. The year before that, though, he was
He's
definitely a
beast.
startable player.
His rookie year, the first game, he hurdled that guy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I remember watching that.
But I think Brandon Ayuk is going to be a player you can plug in. He's not going to give you 30 points, but he's going to give you enough value to help win your week. He's not going to give you a goose egg. He's going to probably give you a solid 10 points or better. So that's my plug and play wide receiver. So, well, it is time to turn on some football and watch Thursday night. Let's hope that who do you want to win? The Colts. I think I'm going Colts too. I
Sorry,
think the
Broncos
Colts will
fans.
win.
Bronco country. Let's ride.
You're not riding tonight.
I do like the Broncos, but I just think I like the Colts a little bit better. But who I think is going to win, the Broncos.
It's really a hard one because the Colts are without Jonathan Taylor.
With that Michael
The
Pittman.
Broncos are without Javonte Williams. I mean, these teams are really kind of going into this crippled.
I'm crippled.
Two Super Bowl quarterbacks from years past on different teams. So it'll be interesting to see how this one turns out. But I think the Colts barely slide in with the win.
Oh yeah, was this a Super Bowl game?
I don't think so. I think Peyton Manning just played for both teams and won a Super Bowl on both teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, so pretty cool little fact. But that's gonna do it for the
Fun
show.
fact. Nobody
We've got some football to
Just
watch.
kidding.
We've got some vacation to get back to. We've got a hot tub to get in. So we're gonna cut it there. But
I'm gonna
we're
jump
glad.
in the hot tub right now. You guys want to go see me jump in?
No, they don't. You don't. But that's going to be it for our show. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like. And we will see you next week.